On the September 19th, 2025, the day should have been as ordinary as any other September evening in Enugu. But by the time the moon rose over Eha-Alumona and the hills echoed in silence, everything had changed. He was coming home. Father Matthew Eya, parish priest of St. Charles, Eha-Ndiagu, had left Enugu City that afternoon after attending a diocesan meeting. He drove the same cream-colored Toyota Corolla he always used, reliable, modest, unassuming. As twilight softened the sky, he followed the winding road through hills and farmland toward Nsukka, the familiar route home. He did not know that somewhere ahead, in the gathering darkness, planning had already begun. The road was narrow, hemmed by bush and occasional streetlights that flickered and died. Somewhere past the ongoing project of the Type C hospital, the tires of his vehicle began to hiss. 2 quick puffs, as if someone had loosed a breath. His car veered, slowed. He frowned, pressed carefully on the brake, but another hiss, the rear tire. In less than seconds, the vehicle stalled, coasting to a halt. He sat still for a heartbeat, hands on the steering wheel, listening. The night seemed to hold its breath. The motorbike appeared, abrupt, close. One headlight behind him, 2 men in black, no invitation. The first shot cracked, shattered glass. The second, by the time he saw the barrel of the pistol at his temple, the world had already turned silent. He slumped, the engine died, shadow swallowed him. When the villagers came in response to distant gunshots, they found the car door ajar. Father Eya's body slumped sideways, blood seeping into the seat and pooling on the dusty road. The Corolla was riddled with bullets. He was dead. No pleas, no struggle, just final stillness. The Diocese of Nsukka confirmed. Shocked to the marrow, it is with crushing pain and sorrow I inform you of the tragic death of Reverend Father Matthew Eya. He was shot dead on September 19, 2025, along the Eha-Alumona Eha-Ndiagu road. In the hours that followed, the news radiated outward. The Enugu State government condemned the act as cowardly and cold-blooded, and placed a 10 million Nigerian nairas reward for credible information leading to arrest of the perpetrators. Meanwhile, police announced a manhunt. 38 suspects were arrested in bushcomb operations in black spots around Nsukka. Yet the motive remained elusive. Parishioners wept. Mothers held children close. The presider's chair remained empty. In the rectory, his cassock hung untouched, shaken by the sudden absence of its wearer. The hastily called vigil filled the churchyard with candlelight. Rosary prayers murmured in the night. Among the mourners was Ezen, a young teacher whose fiancé had often spoken to Father Eya for counsel. She remembered the way his eyes lit up when children giggled, how his laughter sometimes escaped when parishioners teased him gently. Now she stood at the altar, voice trembling. He told us to trust, to love one another. But who will trust now? The police investigation was methodical. Bullets were recovered, motorcycle tracks combed, data from the priest's phone was extracted. They traced the last ping to a tower half a mile from the attack site, suggesting he had slowed, or maybe answered someone's call. Witnesses said the gunman had shot at his tires first. One local report: they deflated the tires of the priest's vehicle, forcing it to stop, before shooting him multiple times at close range. One voice said, "This was not kidnapping. There was no demand, no negotiation, no ransom call. It looked like assassination." In fact, the attack happened near the hospital project site. That detail stirred whispers. Could the location be significant? But still, no confession, no clear suspect. At the diocese offices, they issued calls for calm. The Chancellor, Father Cajetan Ayadobe, said, "We strongly condemn this brutality. We call on the government to intensify investigations." Inside the parish, grief mingled with fear. The roads to villages felt less safe. Men walked home in pairs. Lights were installed at vantage points. The youth group tried to keep vigil, but at night many stayed indoors. Yet amid the sorrow, a discovery. Hidden among loose papers in his car was a slim envelope, sealed, labeled simply, to be opened only if lost. The bishop's seal was faint but there. It contained a typed memo, land transfer escrow file, see schedule. to be released if priest is incapacitated or in mortal danger. It hinted at something deeper, a land dispute. In the parish community, rumors had circulated that the parish property bordering farmland was contested by a local chief and a wealthy businessman who insisted on earlier harvest payments. Some parishioners claimed that at night light glowed on the land parcel near the church compound even when no visitor was there. They said the youth reported seeing shadows in the fenced plot. The envelope's existence made investigators shift from random violence to a plan. Could the motive have been property, not religion? The next twist came unexpectedly. A suspect among the 38 arrested, one who'd been quietly under observation, confessed to knowing the motorcycles used, but denied pulling the trigger. He revealed that a local gang had been subcontracted. The boss had offered payment for a message. The suspect whispered a name, Chief Enugu, the same name that had appeared in casual talk about the parcel. Investigators found that Chief Enugu had visited the Diocesan Land Registry office just weeks earlier, applying to revisit the boundary documents. The chief had denied any wrongdoing, saying the rumors were fabrications. But phone records placed him in the area days before the killing. His brother's phone was used near the scene shortly before the attack. The envelope, combined with the testimony of the middleman suspect, had changed the course. But in court, things became murky. The subcontracted gunman denied orders. The chain of command twisted. There was no smoking gun tying Chief Enugu to the act, though his influence and resources raised enough suspicion to make the community uneasy. The trial dragged. Evidence vanished. Witnesses recanted under pressure. Some parishioners believed the case was being swallowed by influence. Meanwhile, the emotional toll deepened. The community felt violated. The bishop delivered a solemn sermon. He gave his life not for hate, but for service. If we falter now, his death was in vain. Others cried foul. Priests were sacred in these parts. Who dared? Ezen, still grieving, often visited his small room in the rectory, touching worn books, the rosary he'd left on the bedside table. She began keeping a private journal. He embraced each of us. I see now the emptiness he left, not just of absence, but of unanswered questions. One evening, as she walked past the main gate, she noticed a tall silhouette slipping away. She froze. The figure paused, then disappeared into darkness. Her heart pounded. She found footprints, boots sinking in the soft earth. She called the rector, who promised to report it. But by morning, the footprints were washed by rain. The community listened for movement in the night. Doors bolted early. Some said they heard motorbikes passing late near the church compound, solitary and low. The parish groundskeeper discovered that a section of fence had been discreetly cut. Nothing stolen, just the cut. In the months that followed, the trial staggered. The suspect gang members were prosecuted for weapons offenses, but the mastermind remained insulated. Who really killed Father Matthew Eya, the beloved Catholic priest from Enugu State? Was it a random act of violence, or a planned assassination hidden behind land disputes and silence? Thinking face, the mystery remains unsolved, the truth buried somewhere between fear and faith. If you want to uncover more real-life true crime stories like this, full of suspense, emotion, and shocking twists, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, True Crime Africa, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next story, because sometimes the truth is closer than we think.